So, weekly review video of the weeks that have just passed, and today is Friday. I'm going to do a short weekly review as I do on every Friday, every week for you, going through my trades and talking about some wisdom, hopefully being inspirational for you so you can learn and adjust and tweak to the best of your ability. So, the topics for this video is self-awareness, trades I've taken, what I'm ashamed of this week, what I'm proud of this week, and closing. All right. So first things first, self-awareness. It's so important to have self-awareness in trading. Why? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I've been sick this week. So it comes a time, and I'm all about hard work and doing the work and working hard and pushing through and grit and all these things. But when I trade, that doesn't work. You can't work through the trade, basically. You need to be the most optimal and the most patient and the most, how do you say, mentally strong during these times, these London session, New York session, when you trade. You So me being sick and me having the flu because the kids go to kindergarten and they bring home the sickness home and uh, I get sick. That is fine. And my mind is telling me push through and continue trading, but my habits are telling me no. So I don't want to push through it because it's not worth it. Because being sick makes me not feeling that strong, which which reflects on how I trade in the market. And I'm not in a hurry. Like I'm not in a hurry to get someplace. And when you work for yourself and when you are the provider for what you do in trading, you don't need to stress it because if you know that you can get it back the next week after you get sick. Think about it like a regular job. This is a business, right? If you had a job somewhere and you get sick, like I'm just telling, like even this is some of my limiting beliefs. Like something inside of me is telling me to continue working, but the other part of me is telling me to stop. Just take a break, relax, get well, and get back strong into the market. So to the next point, trades I've taken this week. I've taken in total 4 trades this week. So this week I've just traded on Monday, on Tuesday. I haven't traded anymore this week because, as I mentioned before, because of sickness. So I took I took 2 wins. I risked 2%. I took 2 positions. I added to the position, and I got a 1.7 risk reward on this and on the trade. And this is a trade I'm a bit ashamed of. And I'm going to go through it. And I also took 2 losses, zero point 0.5 risk on the first trade. I lost that, and I risked 1%, and I lost that. So in total, I lost 1.5%. So in the results of the week is 1.9% in total. So let me share with you the trades I've taken. The trades I've taken this week was uh, the ones on Monday. So the trade I've taken on Monday. You can't see it. Let me just, there you go. The trades I've taken on Monday was this trade. So we were bearish. In overall trend, we were bearish in the trend, and this is what it did. It swept high time frame liquidity, 1 hour liquidity. It broke structure, which is not a pretty break of structure right here to this area. It tapped into the fair value gap right here, and this is what I took. This is when I took my trade. I didn't like the break of structure to 100%, so I risked 0.5% on this because also there is a 5 minute fair value gap which had a high probability of reacting to the other side, to the bullish side. So what did I do? That's why I risked 0.5% because there was a fair value gap 5 minute, and I'm always willing to risk that amount, not a huge amount. So what did I do? I got stopped out and I took the other trade go in the same direction. Mind you, I only take 2 trades per session. I don't want to force the trend. And this is what happened. This gave me an even better setup. A clean break of structure, a clean fair value gap reaction to the downside with a bearish candle to the downside. I entered. It was a nice stop loss, and because of it was so nice, uh, such a small stop loss, I took a 1% risk. And what did the market do? It took me out. This was a losing day. So I swallowed it and I kept moving forward. And I didn't trade that day more. So let's jump to the next day. The next day was an exciting day. Let me show you why. So we had, this is it. So this is what happened on the next day. It took out monthly low. This doesn't happen very often. It took out the monthly low, it broke structure on a higher time frame to the upside. When it breaks monthly low to the upside, that's a huge indication for me that we are continuing the bullish trend. So what did I do on that day? I this is a school run. So this is the overnight range. I marked out the 50-minute, I marked out the overnight range, the first 15-minute candle to the upside. What did I do with it? When it closed, I entered on a long position right here. In this trade, I even entered on a 5-minute candle close before it. So I entered here on the 5-minute candle close, and then I added to the position as soon as the 50-minute candle closed, meaning at 9:15. So I added to the position, and this was a 2% trade. So, so I basically marked out my first take profit on the 4 hour, but my idea or my execution regarding this trade was that it's going to continue to take out these highs and just continue up to New York session open. So what happened? It continued to the 4 hour liquidity. I didn't take profit right here. I moved my stop loss to break even on this area. And eventually, this is what happened. It swept 4 hour liquidity, and it gave me a reaction to the 15-minute fair value gap right here, and I took full profit right here. Unfortunately, it didn't continue up. But then, now I don't have a picture. This is what it did. Basically, it continued up to the New York session open. It continued bullish. So this would have been a nice trade, but I took 1%, 1%, and I stopped. I took full profit right here on this time. You can also see the time that I took profit. It was like 11:45. I usually don't stay in the market for that long. I usually trade between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. So that's a little bit what I'm ashamed of in this trade. I'm not really ashamed of it, to be honest. I took the trade. I took profit at the correct place. I didn't put my stop loss to break even and just leave the trade. That would have been stupid. So this is what I did this week, and this is the progress I'm sharing with you here. What I did this week. So the wins were 3.4% in total, and the losses were minus 1.5% in total. In total, let's round it up to 2% this week. Good or bad? Yes or no? And let me show you an example of what happened yesterday in the market. So if we went yesterday in the market, I shared this with the school community also. If you're not inside the school community, feel free to join. Let me show you yesterday's trade that I didn't take because even if I did take it, I couldn't handle the trade because I'm feeling lazy and sluggish. So I wrote this inside the community, DAX and NQ not trading today because of sickness, but this is what I want to see happen in the market today. So this is what I wanted to see in the happen in the DAX. Either it continues up with the school run, or it comes down, takes out the 50-minute liquidity, and continues up. And this is what I wanted to happen on NQ. This is my prediction for NQ and how I see the market happening. So this is not a school run. Why? Because you can see that the overnight range is starting from this area, the Asia session open. So it hasn't passed the overnight range. This is what the market did. Updates. So I'm not saying this just to brag or just to show you this is how good I am or anything like that. I'm here to just inspire you that you can do this. Like this can't be taught. This can be taught. This is a skill that you can learn over the years. This is the skill you can learn over the years and overseeing the market. And you see that I only trade two symbols. I only trade the DAX and I only trade NQ. Why do I only trade the DAX and NQ? Because I've applied the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle says, how can I get 80% of my results by doing 20% of the work? This is my 20%. In the beginning, I didn't know which symbol to trade. Do I trade Forex, I don't know, stocks, crypto, indices, futures, CFD. Like, there's so much inside the market that gets you so confused in the beginning. So I narrowed it down and I find something that works for me on a consistent basis. And I find because that's how I am. I want things to be minimalistic. I want making money from the market to be easy because it seems so confusing. I don't read the news. I'm not interested in the news. I'm interested in on a daily basis what the market is doing. And for the long-term investing strategies that I use, that's different. That's not the same as going into the market, taking a trade that lasts about 45 to 1 hour max, and then you're getting out of the trade. So this is my update for today. If you're not inside the school community, feel free to join. The link is in bio, and I hope to talk to you there. Have an amazing weekend.